And now in part 4 of our webinar on managing G Suite identities through the use of Azure AD, we'll be reviewing Microsoft Cloud App Security reports on G Suite identities. Now and again, we had created 2 identities earlier, student identities, that is myself, and one for Michael Moss. In this instance, we'll be using Michael Moss account for our demonstration purposes. And the topics we'll be highlighting are an overview of Microsoft Cloud App Security reports for student accounts, and a review of additional features through Microsoft 365 that can be leveraged once we have that in place. So taking a look here at the Microsoft Cloud App Security activity log, we can see that our student, Michael Moss, has been attempting to access an application by the name of Office 365 from a series of different IP addresses. From here, we can also see the location from which this user, this student, was originating, the United States, and the device status, or rather attributes based on whether it's a Windows device, a Mac device, based on the web browser that was being used, in this instance Google Chrome, and the dates of each of these attempts to log in. And the connector for Microsoft Cloud Security can of course be set up through supported firewalls. You can of course ship the logs directly from a firewall to a VM and then connect that into Microsoft Cloud Security. Or you can leverage Windows Defender ATP, or rather what's now become Microsoft Defender ATP, which will connect all devices, regardless of whether or not they are on your firewall, into Microsoft Cloud Security. That would of course include Windows 10 devices, Windows 8. You can of course connect Mac OS devices and Linux as well, and servers. And lastly, I just wanted to touch on, again, some of those additional features that can now be provisioned for those G Suite identities, now that we have them in both Azure AD and G Suite. We can, of course, leverage Microsoft Teams as a powerful collaboration tool for students to connect with each other. And of course, to connect with their teacher. OneNote for note-taking. Microsoft Intune, we touched on that earlier, the different policies that can be created and the different ways in which we can have additional control over devices that are provided to students, or even devices that are brought by students but are still accessing school resources. And then we can, of course, look into setting up third-party apps with single sign-on, in addition to G Suite, other applications that might be used within the school, but perhaps are not part of the G Suite umbrella. And just to recap again, this webinar series focused on how we can go ahead and manage G Suite identities through Azure AD, and on top of that, how we can have synchronization going between a school information system into an on-prem AD, into Azure AD, and then finally into G Suite. And this section in particular, this fourth part within our webinar series, highlighted an overview of Microsoft Cloud App Security reports for student accounts.